So, all of us long to be happy. We long for a sense of peace and well being. And yet we live in this world that, we can't put it into a box. We can't control it and have it work out for us all the time. And, this is a one-way ticket. So, what does awakening and peace really actually mean in a world that's, in a sense, unstable? What it means is that it's about our relationship to what's happening, not what's happening itself. And that's where Hart Fluency is completely focused. As we've been talking about over these last weeks, it's the focus on the problem is the problem with most therapy. So what we want to do is we want to focus on our nourishment and our ability to allow whatever to comes through to either, if it's skillful and helpful, to expand and open. It's always got some expansiveness in it. If there's a wounding, if there's some unskillfulness or some harmfulness in it, it's got contraction. It can come into the space and relax and dissolve. So what is awakening when people talk about awakening, liberation, even enlightenment? I'm not a big fan of this term enlightenment because it kind of indicates that there's a goal, someplace you're going to get to. But I like this idea of awakening as we continue to awaken to this nourished, unconditionally resourced aspect that's just there and it's a part of ourselves. We're awakening to what's already inherent within us. And then we can drop the seeker, which just sets up another identity and, a longing and a grasping, and we can become the lover who is appreciating and enjoying each new moment as it more and more deeply brings us into this resilient, ultimately nourished orientation to all of life, so that then in the end we can ultimately even face the fact that we're mortal and we will die. So Hart Fluency training at this point, I hope you've gotten a lot out of this series. I would so love to connect with you and share a free Heal with Your Heart session with you. The Hart Fluency training, there's 6 2.5 hour really interactive online classes, and you'll do a lot of exercises there, really form a sense of community. 24 people for 3 to 4 very highly experienced facilitators. Then we do the one-on-one sessions with you, one of those each week. And that's where you're going to learn about getting into that balance. What does it really feel like to acknowledge and feel my nourishing? And what does it feel like when that intensity arises into that space? And I can hold that space so that the intensity either expands or dissolves and leads towards healing. Remember, we use the metaphor of being like a bike. Learning how to ride a bike. And this is where we can help hold that bike for you initially and then get you started riding on your own. The other aspect is online community forum participation. It's one thing to learn and understand a language. It's a completely different thing to speak and express it, especially when somebody's not sitting right in front of you and it's going out to a group. So we have you answer questions using Hart Fluency on the forum as part of the training. It takes about 30 minutes to an hour each week. And this really deeply works on layers of your psyche and ego so that at the end of the 6 weeks, you really have a sense of mastery. And there's daily practices. And then, our commitment is that without taking up a huge amount of your time, you can actually, the measure of a good practice is how quickly you can drop it because you've become it. And so we're looking for an embodied deep shift where you're living and leading from your heart with a lot of clarity about, navigating emotional intensity and with the capacity to draw in wisdom and guidance on demand. And I'm so happy, I'm so delighted that this is truly what course participants are really achieving. And this is so important for our world. We have a world that needs this as the fundamental orientation. It's time for us to make the shift from the head to the heart. I would love to support you in doing that for yourself and for our world. It's been my deep honor to share this video series with you, and may it prove to be helpful to you and to others. please reach out and connect with me for a one-on-one session. Many blessings to you.